Very nice, Klaus. There was a question from Joseph. What exactly is meant with plasma in the nanolayers? What's meant by plasma in the nanolayers? I think that was mentioned.
Plasma, in the world of present science, you call it superconductors. We have never managed to produce superconductors at room temperature. The nano layers which we produce, because it's of the same material, in the space gap positioning, which means electrons, if I can draw it here, if I can annotate, I don't know if it can be done. You have a space gap. I'm gonna stop sharing afterwards. What you have is, can you see my writing?
Yes.
Yep.
So what happens in the matter state at the moment, if you have a copper wire, you work with the vibration of the electrons in the atomic structure. In the present, with the new technology we've developed in very simple way, which we nano code, now we have this configuration, where before the molecular structure was much tighter. So as we said many times, this is number 1, this is number 2, and the rest of it. And what happens, you have a spacing gap. We shown this with magnet. So what happens when you have a nano layer, in the present electric current, the flow is this way. And then it has to meet resistance with all these electrons, atomic structure. With a nano layer, space gap is totally different. Now the current flow floats across, no matter resistance. So this is the attribute of plasma. Electric current is electric level. It does not perform as such. But now this one is a conductor. This is a superconductor. This is the first time we have managed to produce superconductors at room temperature, and has huge applications. So it's very much like you have two lines. You can transmit AC on this one, and you transmit plasma flow on this one. On this one you have a continuous sinusoidal. In this one you have variation, but in the plasma direction. This is the introduction of the world of electronics, the world of matter, they have not realized this, the effectiveness of this. But that's what it does. So when you have a maggraph system, which you see here, you plug it to the wall and then you connected it to a tool. This unit, which is the fridge or whatever, has no plasma unit in it. It cannot, it's very little in it. But what happens in your, if you look at it in your cable which you connect to the wall, you have positive and negative, or we call it neutral and live. The unit takes current through the neutral, through the live, but there is a feedback, the gravitational pull. This is the powerful one, and this goes through here. Where at the same time, in the electric current side, you only have the transfer of fields which goes through here. This is your AC, and your plasma flow comes from this, the negative side, or what we call the negative or neutral. Those of you who understand the world of electronics and world of transformers, this has a huge implication, because you take here 1 watt, you here give 4 watts. But it's a conversion of the plasma which is important to current. This is a part of the understanding which we taught years ago and just overthrown people's ear. So when you come to the power flow, everybody looks at where the energy comes. The energy comes from here. If you have used maggraph systems which is made properly, you go to any building which has been there 100 years and they use the original copper wires, the copper is still the same color. But if you have used a maggraph unit in the house, when you take the wire out, you will see the wire is dark, it's black. Because now with the current flow in the plasma, you have created nano coating, but in a plasmatic condition. And this is why many of you, when you made the first original maggrav units, or those of you who bought the maggrav units and then you said it doesn't work, because what has happened, your system after a while you see reduction, maybe 3 months, 6 months, and then after a year you see bigger reduction. What you actually have done is you, as usual, using the current flow through AC, but this plasmatic condition is creating the nano layers. So gradually more and more lines around the house is getting nano coated. Some of them is, you can't even see it unless you cut in copper and then you see there's a slight difference. Then what happens, these nano layers start gathering energy. And the reason your power, what you call it, your electricity bill reduces, because now, because of the pulse in this, it actually works exactly like your stomach and the lymph. The fields are absorbed from the environment and they feed into the electricity power unit. So here the system sees less reduction from the main, because now what you need is fed in through the atmospheric condition, through the walls, through the wires. And this is because of the function, the way your heart works, the way the lymph sucks energy out of your stomach. The banana doesn't cross the wall, it's the energy which goes, and it's the same principle. The matter state is weaker, and the nano layers gather enough energy that it tries to feed, it creates a current. And as it creates current, reduces demand on your electricity bill. Nobody has understood this concept, and you all work and say maggrav system. Anybody told me the maggrav system doesn't work, I said God bless their soul. They have no understanding.